You get accused of shit all the time, right?
Totally,
you constantly get that. You get that all the time.
Less so in the last like 6 to 12 months, but
due to repetition of you having like the consistency of like over the years, people are able to do the Google machine and go back and be like, oh, he was, again, skinny for the 2 years, maybe when he was off on his spiritual awakening and post, before med school. And then, oh, I see CrossFit. He's here. He's bigger. He's wider. And then do you think it's that, or do you think it's the repetition of you having to just drill in people's heads and the content that you put out?
To be honest, I don't know. I think it might be just the repetition of seeing like,
or the trolls have just moved on to Liver King.
Maybe. Yeah. Or they're like, well, maybe this guy's not. Yeah. Like these other people are way bigger. I still have a few videos out there on YouTube that continue to get views of like, like the before and after, like when I was competing versus now. And, I did like a episode on like thumbnails, like it's got steroids on it. Like, and basically I was like trying to just give like a general story of like, hey, this is how these changes have happened for me over the years. Cause I got questions like, hey, you posted a picture of you competing in CrossFit in 2016, you post a picture now, like how much muscle mass did you lose? Like what changed? What's your diet like now versus then? And like, I made a video to like basically answer all the questions I got. And it did not occur to me that like the obvious thing that people were going to think as soon as they saw that was like, obviously you just went off steroids and that's why you're this size now. And I was like, how did I miss that? Like I should have addressed that right there. I didn't address it. It wasn't even on my mind. Okay, I'll make a follow-up video where I basically say like, hey, look, this is my experience in CrossFit competing. This is what I was capable of doing natural. Like, are there people using it? Clearly there are, because there's been people getting popped in the last many years. If I had to like wager money that the majority of top people during my era of CrossFit were not on drugs, and we were just redefining what it meant to be like ultra fit in this particular way. And nobody had ever seen it before. We were just like exploring a whole new world of like fitness. And we're like, oh, I didn't know people could do that. It's like, yeah, you actually can do that if you train like this. And then if you train like this and do steroids, like, whoa, maybe you can do this. And that's maybe what we're seeing more these days. I don't really know. I mean, I know there's been a lot of drug positive tests in the last like build up to the CrossFit Games this year, but I don't follow it closely enough.